And we're live. We're back.
Oh,
We're ready to do this Affliction Tree. I'm Daftjack, and
all right.
he's Ragingdevil.
Let's go.
And every time I say that, I point to you like you're in the room with me, but you're not. So we're gonna go over the Affliction Tree right here, which is my favorite tree. Um, Let me give a breakdown of how the video is gonna work in like 35 seconds. We're gonna introduce ourselves. We're gonna talk about the class, spec, whatever, and how we played it in the past and what our experiences with it are. Then we're going to roll right into me reading a bunch of text and screwing up a moderate amount of it. Nah, just a little bit. Um, Sorry about that. Then, when we hit the choose one talents, which it looks like we don't have very many, we're going to discuss those and whether or not they're a good choice. Some of them have been very poor choices. Uh, Then, when we get to the end of the tree, we are going to discuss the tree as a whole and how it works, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, if it's good or not. So far, the Warlock trees have been very nice. I'm super happy to take a look at this one. As I alluded to, we'll get started now. I love Affliction. I always mained Affliction as my Warlock spec. Except for that small time where I had to be Destruction because the Green Fire wasn't available to Affliction, and I earned it, didn't I? Um,
Yep.
yeah. How about you, Devil? What do you think about the Affliction monster?
It's good. I played it for a couple of times. I played it definitely in the beginning. I loved it when they had my curse I liked, and I did play it back again when WAD came out because it had all the curses and stuff, and curses actually did a lot of damage and they were spreadable. But I didn't get the hang of it, and I just couldn't keep the hang of it. And I like playing Destruction and Demonology, so I never stayed on it.
So my current problem with Affliction is that the dots tick too fast, and I feel like I always have to be doing shit. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm maining Affliction Warlock in the Wrath Classic, and I'm absolutely loving it. The spells take like forever to fall off. I have time to do stuff. It's a slower pace, and I really enjoy it. It's what I liked about the Affliction Warlock maining an outlaw or a combat rogue, where it's all high pace. So I'm really hoping this goes back down that path. Um, a little bit of a slower gameplay, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Also,
first
speaking of
off,
that,
yeah,
linking from the Demonology tree, Doom, it does only proc Doomguard when after 1 minute when the target dies
oh, when the what? That shit's so lame.
in Wrath of the King. So,
Yeah, it's super lame in Wrath. I don't
so
see it in
but that
here
works.
though. I don't think we're gonna get to talk about Doom again, which is sad. I like Doom, Doom and Gloom.
All right, back on track. But yeah,
Maleficent Rapture, one soul shard, 100 yard range, 1.5 second cast. Your damaging periodic effects erupt on all targets, causing 0.275000006 spell or times spell power times 1 plus versatility. I always like how they add 1 to the versatility before they. I wonder if versatility is a decimal point on the back end.
hmm.
And that's why it's always 1 plus versatility. Shadow damage per effect. Unstoppable Affliction. 1% base mana, 40-yard range. 1.5 second cast. Afflicts the target with 184% of spell power shadow damage over 16 seconds. If dispelled, deals 23% of spell power times 2,400 over 100 damage to the dispeller and silences them for 4 seconds. Interesting. I love that dispel effect. It explodes. Generates 1 soul shard if the target dies while affected. The Mighty Nightfall. Corruption damage has a chance to cause your next Shadow Bolt or Shadow Drain to deal 25% increased damage. Shadow Bolt is instant cast when affected. Pew! Kamehameha. Shadow Embrace. Shadow Bolt and Drain Soul apply Shadow's Embrace, increasing your damage dealt to the target by 1.5% for 16 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Oh, and it's a 2-point talent. What we get up to, Devil?
This one is. No, this one still shows 7. Let's see. Shadow Embrace. This one is. That one still shows the same too.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
All right. We'll go ahead and read this guy. Harvest of Souls. Each time corruption deals damage, it has a 7% chance to deal 16% spell power shadow damage to target and heal you for 100% of the damage dealt. Nifty, nifty. Drain Soul. Wow, that's really far down here. Drains the target's soul, causing 175% of or 175.781% of spell power shadow damage over 5 seconds. Damage is increased by 100% against enemies below 20% health. Generates 1 soul shard if the target dies during this effect. Okay, what do we got next? Soul Tap. Sacrifice. No, Tiny, don't move my mouse. Stupid cat. Oh, you're not stupid. You're just silly. Yeah, you're a good boy. Soul Tap sacrifices 5% of Soul Leech to gain a Soul Shard of your Soul Leech to gain a Soul Shard? Wait. Interesting. Not health for mana? Inevitable Demise. Damaging an enemy with agony. Oh, it did drop the curse part. Increases the damage of your next drain life by 7%. This effect stacks up to 50 times. I like that. 50 is a big stack. Pandemic Invocation. Refreshing Corruption, Agony, Unstable Affliction, or Siphon Life with less than 5 seconds remaining will deal 4% or 4% of spell power times 4.33 shadow damage and have a 3.33 chance to grant you a soul shard. What's that get up to?
Where we're going at?
Pandemic Invocation.
That one goes up to 7.66.
7.66.
That's all it says.
Okay. Creepin' Death. Your Agony, Corruption, Siphon Life, and Unstable Affliction deals damage 15% faster. We got Haunt. 2% base mana, 15-second cooldown, 40-yard range, 1.5-second cast. A ghostly soul haunts the target, dealing 68.75% spell power, shadow damage, and increasing your damage dealt to the target by 10 for 18 seconds. If the target dies, Haunt's cooldown is reset. I'm liking these numbers 18, 16, like more than 10 seconds before I have to reapply it. Maleficent Rapture causes your active unstable affliction to deal 5% additional damage up to 15% for the rest of its duration. Clantamperous Senato? Wow. I need a pronunciation dictionary. Well, Agni Corruption and Unstable Affliction are active. Your Shadow Bolt has a 30% chance, and your Soul Drain a 20% chance to make your next Maleficent Rupture cost no soul shards and cast instantly. Seized Vitality. Haunt deals 10% increase additional damage. When the haunt spell ends or is dispelled, the soul returns to you, healing you for 50% of the damage it did. What does this stack up to?
20 and 100.
Ooh, nice. Okay, that moves into Haunted Soul. When Haunt spell also increases the damage of your damage over time effects to all targets by 20% while active. And then finally, we have our first choose one. Yeah, our first choose one. Doom Blossom or Dread Touch. Doom Blossom. If corruption damage or damages a target affected by your unstable affliction, it has a 10% chance per stack of Maleficent Affliction to deal 68% of attack power shadow damage to nearby enemies. Dread Touch. If your Maleficent Affliction exceeds 3 stacks, your target instead takes 20% additional damage from your damage over time effects for 6 seconds. I think I like the Dread Touch. Unless there are a lot of ads, and then you want the Doom Blossom. But you also, like, depends on whether or not Doom Blossom's going to pull random stuff. Because it just says nearby enemy. What does that mean?
Just nearby enemies, so that would be anyone, but I don't know if that'll be anyone in combat. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it needs to clarify that. I like Dread Touch. So far, this tree has been very kind of standardy. I'm a little disappointed. Xavier's teachings. Corruption is instant cast and instantly deals 13.8% spell power damage. Okay. Moving on down, we got choose one. This is one of the earliest choose ones in the tree. There's only 2 here and 2 later, so 4 in total. Absolute Corruption or Siphon Life. Absolute Corruption. Corruption is now permanent and deals 15% increased damage. Its duration reduced to 24 seconds against players. Siphon Life. Siphon Life. 1% base mana, 40-yard range, instant. Siphons the target's life essence, dealing 25% damage over 15 seconds and healing you, or 25 shadow damage over 15 seconds and healing you for 30% of the damage done. Man, only 25? And it's only going to heal you for 30% of that? What? What? I need to calculate this. 25 How much health are we netting on this talent? So we got 25 times 0.3. 7 health. This talent is giving you 7 health. Absolute corruption is better. And I hate saying that because Siphon Life is one of my favorite abilities. What do you think, Devil?
Yeah, I've actually used Absolute Corruption most of the time. That was actually one of the Shadowlands choices too.
I mean, like if it did more than 25 damage, then I might consider it. But you're gonna get more than 25 damage out of that fucking Absolute Corruption. Moving on down, we got Soul Swap. Applies corruption, agony, and unstable affliction to your target. I liked this one. Although it looks like it dropped the fun part where you had to have those on a target, pull them off, and you'd store them in a little buff and then spit them back onto the target. The only problem with it before was that the buff had a duration that was way too short.
Hmm.
Like, way too short. Like, it was really nice because then, like, the pull before a raid boss, I could pull all of my thoughts off of the mob and have them ready to go for the next boss. Assuming we pulled in a reasonable amount of time. It's good to see this is making a return, although I wish it still had the skill play um, component. Withering Bolt, Shadow Bolt, and Drain Soul deal 7% increased damage, up to 21% per damage over time you have on the target. Yeah,
15 to 45.
this is similar to how it works in Classic Wrath right now. We have a soul drain, a talent that increases soul drain, or not soul drain, life drains, health stolen by a percent up to 16, I think, per dot I have on the target. It's really nice to see this kind of stuff in gameplay come back. Moving on.
Yeah, it's 15 to 45.
Yeah. We got Seed of Corruption. 1 soul shard, 2.5-second cast, embeds a demon seed in the enemy target that will explode after 12 seconds, dealing 50% of spell power shadow damage to all enemies within 10 yards and applying corruption to them. The seed will detonate early if the target is hit by other detonations or takes spell power times 50 over 100 from your spells and simultaneously kills my green fire. Sows the seed. Seed of Corruption now embeds demonic or demon seeds into 2 additional nearby targets. It's really nice. I love that one. Wraith in Agony. Agony's damage starts at 2 stacks and may now ramp up to 14 stacks. Agonizing Corruption. Seed of Corruption's explosion increases the stat count of Agony by 1 on all targets hit. Choose one. Phantom Singularity or Vile Taint. Phantom Singularity, 1% base mana, 40-yard range, instant cast, 45-second cooldown. Place a Phantom Singularity above the target, which consumes the life of all enemies within 15 yards, dealing 8 times 22% spell power damage over 16 second, healing you for 25% of the spell power of the damage done. Vile Taint, 1 soul shard, 1.5-second cast, 30-second cooldown. Unleash a vile explosion at the target location, dealing 93.75 of spell power shadow damage over 10 seconds to the enemy within 10 yards. Applies agony and curse of exhaustion to them. I kind of like Vile Taint.
Huh. Yeah, it's adding a different effect to them.
Yeah. Next, we've got Soul Flame. When you kill a target, its soul bursts into flames, dealing 20% of spell power, shadow flame damage to all nearby enemies. Why is this an affliction spell? Oh, it's soul bursts. I gotcha. It still could be a destruction spell or a talent. Um, I like it though. Gives us some more AoE as a historically single target spec. Grimoire of Sacrifice should be in the middle. Sacrifice your demon or unlimited range, instant 30-second cooldown. Sacrifice your demon pet. For power, gain its command demon ability and cause your spells to sometimes deal 43.75% spell power. Additional shadow damage lasts 1 hour or until you summon a demon pet. Nifty. Scroll Lashes, Dark Strike. Corruption damage is increased by 7% for each time it deals damage to any of your curses, or deals damage of any of your curses active on the target are extended by 0.5 seconds.
15 in 1 second.
Okay, so every time corruption deals damage, it extends your other curses. That's cool. Let's go on the inside here and look at Summon Dark Glare. 2% base mana, instant 1 or 2-minute cooldown. Summons a Dark Glare from the Twisting Nether that extends the duration of your damage over time effects on all enemies by 8 seconds. The Dark Glare will serve you for 20 seconds, blasting its damage for 32% of spell power shadow damage and increased by 10% for each damage over time effect you have on the target. So, with this summon Dark Glare, I think Grimoire of Sacrifice actually has some competition for my build here. Even though Grimoire of Sacrifice benefits from all of the shit in the base tree, I'm going to be interested to see which one will do better when I get to test this. Soul Rot. And honestly, 100% if we're going to be honest, Summon Dark Glare should be a choose one against Grimoire of Sacrifice. That would be better, in my opinion, because, like, one, we don't have a whole lot of choose ones in the Affliction Tree, and two, like, if you're using Grimoire of Sacrifice, you're not going to pick Summon Dark Glare, and that kind of sucks. Because Summon Dark Glare is really cool, and would be far stronger than, like, just baseline than Grimoire of Sacrifice looks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually play out. Onto the Soul Rot for the third time. 1.5% base mana, 1.5 or no, sorry, 0.5% base mana, 1.5 second cast time, 1 minute cooldown, 40-yard range. Wither away all life force on your current target and up to 3 targets nearby, causing your primary target to suffer 100% of spell power times 2 nature damage. Nature damage? And secondary targets to suffer 100% of soul damage, spell power nature damage over 8 seconds. For the next 8 seconds, casting Life Drain will cause you to also drain life from any enemy affected by your Soul Rot. Life Drain will not consume any mana. I like it, the Soul Rot. In the middle, we have Wrath of Consumption. Corruption and Agony. Each grant an application of Wrath of Corruption. When a target dies, increase all periodic damage dealt by 3% for 30 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Okay. You ready for these last 4 talents, Devil?
Yeah, I'm right here sitting. I'm right done with what I was doing.
All right, we'll start on the outside since the choose one we'll do last. Soul Eater's Gluttony. Whenever Unstable Affliction deals damage, the cooldown of Soul Rod is reduced by 0.5 seconds. And that probably upgrades to a second.
5% and 10 seconds.
Okay.
And then the other
Decay.
one.
Yeah, we're on the outside.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. This one's 1 second.
Yeah, all right. Decrying Soul Satchel. Each time, or Decaying Soul Satchel. Each target affected by Soul Rod increases your haste and critical strike chance by 0% for 8 seconds. Wow, it really is decayed. Auto ran plating. Your Dark Glare increases its damage by an additional 3% for each damage over time effect. The Dark Glare lasts an additional 5 seconds. The Dark Glare is a short cooldown.
Yeah, that's the one that was 5 and 10.
Okay. So if the Dark Glare is only like a DPS cooldown, then you didn't see its instant cast. It's not a regular demon, so it doesn't affect Grimoire of Sacrifice, I don't think. My previous argument was stupid. And then finally we have Willifred's Sigil of Superior Summoning, or the Grimmest of Reaches. Willifred's Sigil of Superior Summoning. I say that 5 times fast. Every soul shard you spend reduces the cooldown of Affliction, Summon Dark Glare, by 0.2 seconds. Or not 0.2 seconds, 2.0 seconds. So it's 2-minute cooldown. Ticking down. What's that? 120 seconds to tick through. Yeah, 120. So you would need to spend like 30 soul shards to get a minute off, or half the cooldown, as opposed to whenever Dark Glare deals damage, it deals 50% of that damage to all enemies affected by your damage over time effect. So single target versus AoE.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this tree. I'm gonna give it like a fucking 6 out of 10. It needs work.
I don't know. I'll give this one 7 or 8. This raid looks way better for me as Affliction.
Yeah, but there's like no real wow talent. I mean, there's like one.
To me, the WoW power is that you have permanent curses now.
Well, I mean, like we already have permanent curses and things like that. Like we've had most of this stuff before. We're not getting
But
anything.
now you don't have to reapply your curses.
Not really. Like, I mean, yeah, we got a couple that extend the duration, and we can make one of them permanent, which that's cool. And those talents are all fine, and I'm not opposed to them. But like, what I mean is, like, we just looked at the demonology tree, and they got a pit lord, and like brand new demons, and Affliction gets like, I don't know. I I feel like everything in here is a rehash, except for maybe Soul Rot, but that might be that's a Covenant ability. So the only
Yeah,
reason I don't know about that is because I didn't pick that.
it's a covenant ability.
I haven't leveled my Warlock up through the Covenants yet. Nah, I probably won't pick the Covenant this sin since it's doing nature damage. It's probably from
Knife eight.
the Night Fae, and I was gonna use or I want the transmog on my Warlock from Maldraxxus, so I'm not even gonna use this till I get this talent. This will be nice to use though. But like it's not even brand new. Like where's my demon hunt or my fell hunter? Not fell hunter. Pit Lord.
Well, no, you're right first time, Fell Hunter.
Was the fell hunter new too?
Fell Hunter is your affliction specialty demon. You need that in your new empowered demon should have been like a new
Well, so the
empowered observer.
empowered fell hunter is the dark glare.
Well, yeah, I'm saying the observer. Yeah,
Yeah, so like the observer, like yeah, we don't even get option of observer. Maybe we should have got the option for the observer against Grimoire of Sacrifice.
the observer.
Um, because like where's my observer? Where's my like aesthetic stuff? Like what do I do that looks real cool? It's kind of a letdown. Like it would be higher on my list. And I mean, like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's just not as good as, like, the two trees we just read through today. I'm a little disappointed. Alrighty then, that's the end of that, I guess. We'll catch you later with the remaining trees.
Yep.
Y'all have a good night. This is Daftjack out.